thank you for joining me on Egmont Key National Wildlife Refuge in Florida for the perfect class to help you stretch, unwind from your day, or take a much-needed self-care moment. As the sun goes behind the clouds, creating a wonderful ebb and flow of light, allow yourself to feel the possible shifts in your emotions or the body. Welcome to your own special moment of tranquility. Sitting on your heels at the back of the mat, hands on your thighs. Let's take a deep breath in and release it out. This moment is here for you to relax, to find your center, to let everything else going on around you disappear. Another deep breath in, and let's grab the hands behind the back, extending through the elbows, looking up to the sky, pushing the chest forward, and slowly bringing the forehead to the mat, hands extending up to the sky, stretching the shoulders, breathing into the back, feeling your ribs expanding as you take a deep breath in, and exhale, slowly rolling up, coming back to seated. Hands reaching to the back of the mat, opening up and rolling back forward, forehead coming to the mat, fingers reaching up toward the sky. And slowly rolling back up, release the hands and bring them to the mat, coming into tabletop, so on our hands and knees. Let's take an inhale and exhale, sitting back onto your heels in child's pose. Taking a deep breath in, and let's again grab the hands behind the back, and we're going to roll up, this time to our knees. So slowly coming up, your head comes up last, pushing the hips forward, reaching down with your fingers to your knees, and then sitting back into child's pose like we did before, forehead to the mat, and rolling back up onto the knees. And release the hands, place them on your lower back, on the sacrum, and push your hips away. You can stay here or maybe tuck your toes so you can reach your heels. Finding camel pose, really pushing forward with the hips, opening up the chest. You can release your toes, going a bit deeper into the back bend. When you're ready, bringing your hands back to your lower back, slowly releasing down, coming back into seated, into hero's pose. Let's do a seated cat-cow, arching the back, looking up, and rounding out the back, looking down at your lap. Just moving through our cat-cow, rounding out your spine as much as possible, and arching your back, looking back behind you if you can, or just looking up at the sky as you arch. Moving slowly with your breath. Inhale, look up, and exhale, looking down. And let's come back to center, relaxing, allowing the spine to neutralize. And let's come forward into tabletop once again, hands on the mat, hips underneath the knees. Let's reach the right arm up to the sky, opening the shoulder, and then thread that arm through to the left side. Extend the left hand out to the very front of the mat, and allowing your chest to drop down, really stretching out that right shoulder. Now, if you need a block or a bolster underneath you, that's perfectly fine. If you need to put a block under your left hand, Just do whatever you need to. Maybe just come up a little bit more to give yourself some space. Let's place the right hand onto the mat, coming back into tabletop. Reaching the right hand up yet again. And let's reach up and back, coming onto the knees. Left hand reaches up to the sky. And try to grab your right toes with your right hand, stretching out the quad. You can bring the heel to the glute or as close as you can. And let's release down, coming into tabletop, reconnecting to the breath. And now let's reach the left hand up to the sky, holding here before we thread the needle, thread the left arm through, underneath your body through to the right side. Walk your right hand forward and stretching out the left shoulder. Your head can, of course, be relaxing on the mat. We're really focusing on getting a stretch in the shoulders, so don't worry about coming all the way down. You just want to be able to feel a nice stretch. Always remembering to breathe. And on your next inhale, let's lift up, bringing both hands into tabletop. Reach the left hand up to the sky yet again, and slowly lifting up, coming onto your knees, grabbing the left toes with the left hand, getting a nice quad stretch and even a little back bend here. And coming back down into tabletop, hands and knees. Let's maybe walk the knees back a little bit. And then walking the hands forward, slowly letting the chest fall toward the mat, trying to keep your hips above your knees as much as possible. And blocks are really useful here underneath the hands. You can even do this by holding onto a couch or a chair instead of finding puppy pose on the floor. You can place a bolster or a block underneath your chest. Do whatever you need to make this more comfortable, and yet feeling a stretch in your shoulders, feeling an opening sensation in your chest maybe, feeling your spine coming alive, the muscles in your back activating, and just breathe. Breathe through the discomfort. And if you'd like to take it a bit further into the shoulders, bend your elbows and bring your hands together behind your head. So getting into the triceps as well as going a bit deeper into the shoulders. You can put blocks underneath your elbows. That really helps me to get a bit deeper, to have a bit more space. And wherever you are, coming back into puppy pose, let's come forward, shifting forward onto our elbows. Hands are pressing into the mat, elbows are pressing into the mat. We're looking forward, keeping the neck long. Feeling the front of the body opening up. Try to keep your elbows underneath your shoulders. Let's continue to breathe deeply into any tension we may be feeling. If you'd like to go a bit deeper, you can lift up onto just your hands. So extending through the elbows, really pushing into the mat with just your hands and your hips. Keeping the spine long, maybe looking up, getting a nice curvature in the spine. Feeling the openness in your chest. And relaxing down again, finding Sphinx pose. Elbows on the mat, connecting with our intention of finding stillness, finding a sensation of serenity. Connect to that peaceful sensation, that peaceful presence. And slowly and gently releasing the forehead closer to the mat, bringing the elbows out to the sides, placing the left hand on the mat and the right elbow out to the side at a 90-degree angle, stepping the left foot back, pivoting open to the left side, finding a nice stretch in your pec muscle on the right side, focusing on twisting the left side of the body open. Breathing into any tension, any stiffness you may be feeling, just let it go. And coming back to center, rolling onto the stomach, and place your left arm out at a 90-degree angle now. Step the right foot back behind you, opening up the hips, pressing into the mat with your right hand. This time twisting open to the right side, allowing the right side body to feel a nice twist, a nice opening. And if you're feeling any emotions of anxiety or worry or stress, just breathe into that and allow yourself to feel it, and then let it go. Let's come back to center, rolling onto the belly, and then lifting up, pushing through the elbows, coming onto the knees, and sitting back onto the heels. Let's lift the right arm up to the sky, allowing the right hand to reach down your back, and then grab the right elbow with your left hand, gently putting a little bit of pressure to feel a nice stretch in your right tricep. And you can stay here, or you can take it a bit further and fold forward, bringing the forehead onto the mat or onto a block. Again, breathing, reconnecting, cultivating a moment of serenity. And let's lift back up and switching sides, grabbing the left elbow with the right hand. Left hand is reaching down the back. And feel free to fold forward. Keep the arms in the same position or staying upright. Do whatever feels best for you in this moment. And don't let anything else in. No worries, no to-do lists. Just stay here. And let's lift up, reaching up to the sky, allowing the hands to come back down, and shifting onto the glutes, sitting down to the mat. Let's bring the left foot into the right thigh, reaching for the right toes with the right hand. And the left arm is reaching up and over. We're opening up the shoulder, looking up to the sky or maybe looking down. Your right hand can relax onto the mat. And again, the intention is not to go down as far as you can. The intention is to feel a stretch in that left side body. So if you need to come up to be able to breathe a bit easier, you should definitely do that. Lifting up slightly so you can really feel your ribs expanding as you breathe in. And on your exhale, maybe going down a little bit farther. Now let's come up, bringing the left knee into the chest, squaring the hips off toward the front of the mat, placing the foot near the left thigh. Let's reach around the left knee, hugging it into your back, and reach around and try to grab the fingers of the left hand with your right hand, staying here or maybe folding forward over that right leg. So if this bind is too much, you can absolutely let go of that. Maybe just grab onto your ankle with your left hand, or simply do a forward fold over your right leg. Wherever you are today is exactly where you need to be, so don't worry about how far down you are over your leg or if you're in the bind or not. We just want to stretch out the body. We want to release any tension or stiffness, any negativity of the mind. Just let it all go and be at peace. Let's release the hands coming up, moving slowly as we release, and then cross the left knee over the right knee and folding forward over that left knee. This is one option, or you can bend both knees, bringing the right heel close to the left glute, and just shifting, maybe readjusting so that you can have both sit bones on the mat, trying to stack both knees on top of each other. So the left knee is crossed over the right knee. And we're sitting up tall, the spine is long, reaching the crown of the head toward the sky, feeling the neck stretching up, becoming longer, the shoulders falling away. And just relax. If you're folding forward over the left knee that's crossed on top of the right knee with the right leg extended, try to flex your right foot and keep your spine long as well. Flexing the foot will make the stretch a bit more intense. And always remember to bend from your hips and not your lower back. So keep your spine long, your back straight as you fold forward. You can place a bolster or a pillow between your left knee and your chest. Just make yourself as comfortable as you can while still challenging your flexibility. And if you are folding over the leg with the right leg extended, come up now and bend that right knee. Bring the left heel toward the left glute and place the left foot on the opposite side of the right knee, so on the mat, so that your left knee is toward the chest. And twisting to the left side, bringing your right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Placing your left hand behind your back, looking behind you, finding a nice twist in the spine, breathing deeply, and let's come back to center. Let's untwist our legs, extending them out in front of you. You can give them a little shake or not. And let's scoot closer to the center of the mat. We're going to extend the left leg out to the side now, so toward the back of the mat, and bring the right foot into the left thigh, finding our side stretch. On this side now, reaching for the toes with the left hand, reaching up and over with the right arm, breathing into the right side body, coming down only so far as you feel the stretch, not forcing yourself to come down all the way so that your elbow is on the mat, for example. Just come down as far as you need to so that you can still breathe normally and yet feel a really nice stretch in your right side body. And let's lift up, coming back to center. Square off the hips to the back of the mat, bringing the right knee into the chest, foot is placed on the mat. And let's reach forward and back around that right knee, hugging it into the side of your body, and reaching back behind your back with the left hand, grabbing onto the fingers, and just holding here, maybe sitting up or looking back behind you in this bind, or folding forward, bringing the nose toward the left knee. Again, accepting where you're at today, knowing that it's exactly where you need to be. You don't have to be anywhere else. Reconnecting to that sensation of tranquility. Breathe in and exhale, release it all out. On your next exhale, releasing the hands, lifting up to the sky, and then placing the right knee bent over top of that left knee, keeping the leg extended out in front of you and folding forward from your hips, maybe putting a bolster between your knee and your chest. Or you can bend the knee, that bottom knee, bringing the left heel to the right glutes, shifting and making sure that your sit bones are connected to the mat, finding our shoelace pose. Knees are stacked on top of each other, and we're continuing to breathe, connecting to our intention, finding a moment of peace. If your left leg is extended out in front of you, let's lift up and bend the knee. And let's meet in our twisted pose by placing the right foot onto the mat right next to your left knee. Let's twist to the right side, placing your left elbow on the outside of your right knee. Right fingers are coming behind you onto the mat, opening up the chest toward the right side, looking behind you, twisting, breathing into this pose. And let's release forward, reaching the arms and the legs forward, extending them out, maybe giving a little shake. And our next pose is fish pose. So bring your hands underneath your glutes, release yourself back onto your elbows, and arch your back, opening up the chest as you reach the top of your head, the crown of your head, toward the mat. Pushing into the elbows. You have little to no weight on your head. It's all in your elbows and your forearms. You can point the toes or flex them, and really focusing on opening up the front of your body. So from your chin all the way down to your abdomen, you're making a nice arch with your spine. And if you'd like to add some activation to this pose, you can release your hands from under your glutes, reach them up toward the sky, and lift your feet. Also point it up to the sky. Or just stay in fish pose. Only doing this variation if you have no history of neck injuries or have no neck problems or anything like that. reconnecting with the breath, with the intention. Big inhale as you push into the forearms, lifting the head up slowly. And then let's come back onto the mat, bringing the knees into the chest, making a little ball with your whole body. Your nose is coming toward your knees. Squeeze everything in. And then let's release the back to the mat, extending the legs out as well as the arms, releasing them to your sides, and allow yourself to find full body relaxation. From the crown of your head to the tips of your toes, relax every muscle, allowing yourself to absorb all of the benefits of this practice, feeling that blissful sensation of perfect peace. Let's take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, bend your knees, place the feet on the mat, and roll over to one side, slowly lifting up, coming into the center of your mat.